Hello and welcome back to the 2021 River City Open for our FPO coverage, brought to you by 616 Graphics, Wolf Pack Discs, Great Lakes Discs, and Discraft. My name is Zachary, and on the commentator's mic with me, I have Innova-sponsored Stacy. How are you doing, Stacy?
I am great. I am excited to see how this tournament finishes up.
Yeah, we had quite the excitement in round 2 over at Hammond Hills. The leaderboard has shifted, and we are down here to the last 18 back at Earl Brewer for the final round, starting off with Lisa. Lost a few strokes there at the very end, but still has the lead. This is a course she's very familiar with and looking to continue playing strong. And right on her tail, down by 1 stroke, is Cynthia, who had those hot scores at Hammond Hills, looking to keep that going here.
And up we have Courtney Cannon. She is tied for 3rd with me.
Yeah.
Stacy Rawnsley also tied for 3rd.
Back on the card, lead card for us. That's super exciting. Here at Brewer, we didn't see you here last time, so we're going to see some more forehand action between you and Courtney, starting off with hole 1. What do we got going down?
All right, hole 1, we have 274 feet, slightly downhill. There is a tall tree that splits that fairway. You're going to see a lot of the backhand throwers go to the right of that tree, and you'll probably see me and Courtney go forehand over the trees on the left. There is OB long and tree danger on the right, little tree jail on the right.
Yep, gotta stay away from that. Lisa going with the backhand here.
Totally smooth.
And this time, round 1, she kind of pushed it a little deep. She makes the correction, still pushes past the basket, but will be having an open look in circle 1.
For sure. Very well executed.
Cynthia able to get those, really needed some of those strokes at Hammond Hills to kind of catch back up. She's also going to take this right gap. She looks like
she was the birdie queen last round.
Yeah, she was.
I bet that's only 15 feet for a straddle. She should have a look at it.
Yeah, right on the edge of the woods there. Not a terrible spot. First forehand here. This is a very common play if you have that forehand power. Probably a force from her. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, perfectly executed.
The
biggest danger, I think, for the forehand is just getting over those trees on the left-hand side. You have to throw over them, but not too far. And I think that's where a big challenge comes in for the forehand.
What are you throwing here?
I think this was a G-Star Thunderbird, and I cooked it.
Dang.
Barely in.
I think pretty sure that they had spotted you closer to circle 2. Oh, and that's a great bid from you. Not able to stick it this time, but
thought for sure I had it though.
Yeah, you already were walking towards it too. You look so confident. Yep, here's Cynthia from the edge of the woods here.
Yeah, keep up that birdie streak. Let's go, Cynthia.
Got Courtney here on a comeback putt.
Par.
Touch tie. Unfortunate break from her. Lisa looking to keep that stroke lead.
Yeah, just first hole nerves.
And she does the same thing.
All right, ladies, let's shake it off.
She's going to tap that in. We got a couple more tap-ins here before we move on to hole 2. As the hole played for the day, 3.14, just a touch over par. Probably that OB came into play today. Wind's a little more picked up than it was in round 1. So that probably influenced a few people.
For sure.
And we are off to hole 2 now. Stacy, what's the play here?
This hole is a 312-foot shot. There are trees on the right that limit that gap. So for me, I would say if you have a very strong forehand, that's definitely the play. If not, a turnover backhand to get that distance. It's pretty open on the left-hand side, so it gives you plenty of room for that turnover. But I genuinely like this hole.
Yeah, I think this is a good changed hole for the course.
Yeah.
It's really fair, still able to attack it. Good distance with some woods involved, and Cynthia's gotten herself in a pretty popular landing spot with that backhand, which puts those kind of skinny branches, like little bush trees, on the left side into play.
And it looks like we're fighting a tailwind, so it's going to make all your discs want to come out of that turnover or Anheuser shot a little early.
Mm-hmm.
Or to fight the wind as well. Looks like what, edge of circle 1?
Yeah, she's deep circle
Early?
1. I think she's just inside there. Another forehand here from Courtney. Puts it on a lot of Anheuser here. Lets the stability of the disc. Oh, clipped a tree there.
Yeah, got a little branch.
She'll have a long look, though. Backhand from you. What are we throwing?
This was a Roadrunner. This is when I had just learned how to throw Annies.
Nearly peering that gap, and you're going to push past those dangerous bushes. Maybe you have it in your way. We'll have to take a better look once you get into your spot.
Cynthia's got a bit of an obstructed putt as well.
Yeah.
That's a good bid, though.
Yeah, had a little gap.
Yeah, and then right to left crosswind. The most difficult putt.
Oh, Courtney's
Oh, great bid.
back to Courtney things.
I thought she had that for sure.
She has great runs. Oh, yeah, but it was just in your way there.
Mm-hmm.
And with that crosswind, it's hard to kind of not hug it tight because you're trying to fight it.
For sure. Yeah, Lisa, great birdie.
Just inside the circle for one of FPO's greatest putters. No problem.
Totally agree with that.
Got a couple tap-ins here.
Yeah, rounding it out. Let's try that again.
Here we go. Got that one to go.
Yeah, dead center.
Hole played exactly as 3 on the field for the day. So pretty. You guys played it just a slightly better than the average. Lauren Butler being the only other player to currently birdie it. As we head into hole 3, 382 feet. Break this one down for us, Stacy.
This hole is 382 feet. You have a pretty straight fairway, and then you have a very late turn off to the right. It would take a very, very precise turnover backhand to hit this line, or a very, very strong forehand smash. It is slightly downhill once you get to the turn, and it is a very, very tough 3, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree. It is a tougher par 3. Plays as such as well for the scores for the FPO field today. The one mistake I think you can't make is this one that Lisa's making right now, which is going right and getting a kick right. She's not in the bushes, which is jail.
Right.
But that right side is really dangerous if you go early.
For sure.
This is an acceptable landing spot for Cynthia.
Absolutely. Very, very strategic, very safe.
Now, if you have this 330 to 340 power, you can attack the basket with a perfect shot. But you can see Courtney, who has that kind of power, can potentially reach this hole. But, to lock it in perfectly is very tough.
Mm-hmm.
But this is looking good from you here. Ooh, tough ground action for you, though.
Yeah. I definitely wanted a tiny bit more right of a finish. But, we were facing a headwind and just didn't get that skip. But I'm still looking at the basket, so I wasn't mad about that shot at all.
Yeah, Lisa was really pinched off there. Hits early into that corner, but maybe she'll have a look from there. Circle 2, probably.
She's Lisa. She'll always have a look.
Yeah, she'll make it happen.
Yeah. Oh, Courtney's obstructed by this tree here. Oh, no problem. She gets around it just fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Luckily, she's a dominant forehand player, which allows her to kind of just sneak around that.
For sure.
A lot of forehand approaches here. That's how this hole kind of just shapes up. No. As soon as it came out of her hand, it looked like it was tracking towards the tree that's trying to regrow from the stump.
Yeah.
Rhino from you?
Yeah.
A little deep?
Yeah, I'm so strong.
Okay, note to self, fewer days in the gym. Okay. Oh, get in there.
Oh, great bid.
That would have been an amazing save from
For
Cynthia.
sure.
Lisa trying to force par. Fist,
Lisa doing Lisa things.
yes, fist pumps from her.
Great par
And
save.
I'd have to say, based on round one scores, she probably knows that this is the course where she really, oh, great bid from you, that she can really kind of push Cynthia a little bit because she knows this course so well. She had her caddy, Tim Sylvain, who's from Michigan, helping her out and caddying for her. So really had a good game plan going into it. So great start from her off the putting green over these last 2 holes.
Yeah. We see Courtney and I struggling on the putting green a little bit.
That's all right. Now we're so close, it just doesn't matter. You're so close to the basket. You got to, like, watch your head.
Yeah. I actually, because I'm so tall, I have actually hit my head while trying to pick up a disc right there.
Stop it.
Yeah, I've hit my head on the basket.
Oh, my Lord. You're not supposed to admit that to everyone. Nobody heard that. Nobody
Hey, we all
heard
make
that.
mistakes.
All right, hole 4 now. This is one of the more controversial holes, but I love it. The big dogleg left here, 795 feet, par 5. I mean, take it through piece by piece for us, Stacy. What do you got to do?
I'd say at the first half, you just have to get a straight shot, hopefully finishing a little bit more on the right-hand side so you can look up this massive hill. Hopefully your second shot can land you up here somewhere, but even that's going to be very difficult to do. Once you get out here up the giant hill, you still have to fight all these trees to get through all the way back down to reach this pretty open putting green. And on a windy day, that putting green is not as easy as it would seem.
I agree. It's like right in an open space too, so this is right where like you get kind of gusts going on, but got it.
And I remember it being a little swirly too.
It is very swirly if the wind picks up enough, and so we're off to the first half of this course, which is really just get to the corner and try to get up and around in 2 if you can. A perfect drive puts you in a spot to potentially kind of push past that Mando, but really a great drive just to get you, so a nice easy shot around that corner is what you want. And Lisa's a little short on her drive, but shouldn't be in too much trouble from there. Cynthia's trying to go big.
Yeah, she crushed it. Oh no, it just needed to kick something and come just a little bit left.
Needed a little tree love. She's over by where the old basket used to be for old hole 3. Courtney having to go to the backhand here to try to push a little extra distance, and she turns it over as well. She's going to be in a pinch spot here. A little high from you. Yeah, you could tell out of your hand you weren't happy with that.
Yeah, I was trying to get really aggressive because I feel like I was behind on where I felt like I should have been. So I was really pushing it. Trying to be really aggressive here, and it just didn't play out.
Up there now, you'll definitely be seeing the Mando from that spot. Courtney trying to turn this around, looking nice. That last tree's fine. She's around. You saw those 2 orange flags. That's the drop zone. So she's looking past the Mando. She can kind of get aggressive with a forehand inside gap or take the safe wide gap for her third.
Yeah, I think that roll even helped her have more of an open look.
Yeah, for the wide gap for sure.
Get through. Oh, beautiful shot, Cynthia.
Yeah.
That's a great spot to be in on your second throw.
I agree. On the hill, but wide open for her to continue attacking. Lisa having to go with the high pitch forehand, but also in a great spot.
Looks like Lisa will be able to go that inside gap to get through the part 2, or I guess part 3 of this hole.
Yeah. Part 1 is kind of getting up to the Mando. Part 2 is getting around as much as possible. Part 3 is trying to push into the basket as much as possible. It's a complicated hole.
It is. I don't hate it though.
Yeah, this 2022 is going to be a little interesting with the Mando rule changes, but I still think the hole has a lot to contribute. And as it continues to wear in, I think it'll play even better.
Yeah.
And this is a smash from you out into the open field, attacking the cart ahead of you. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that was an angry throw.
Well, it worked out.
Yeah, it did. I'm not mad about the placement.
Lisa
Lisa getting that inside gap. Did she roll her ankle or anything?
No, she was like really like split between a couple discs and like made a last second change and tried to throw it real quick before her 30 seconds was up, and the ground around her was a little soft, so she just kind of let it go and then just safely fell.
She scared me there for a second.
Yeah.
Cynthia getting caught in some trees, which is easy to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of them here in Michigan. There's a lot of them everywhere, but Michigan, it feels like they're always extra grabby.
Yeah, and there were so many bugs.
Yes, this was about pushing that weekend around CCR where there were a lot of insects out, but
that was a beautiful forehand by Courtney. Wow.
Here we go from Cynthia. She's
Can
out
she match?
in the opening, and she squares some of those trees, early trees.
Frustration.
Yeah, to get strokes like she did on Lisa to kind of put herself back into the play of things, I know she's looking to not lose strokes, especially early on.
Yeah.
Because Cynthia's got really good power, and I think she's hoping to kind of use those longer holes to her advantage if she can.
For sure.
And this is a sky got too from Lisa. Great shot.
As always, perfectly executed with that disc for her upshots. I don't think she's missed one all weekend.
Yeah, she's been money with her P2 there. Cynthia saying, well, I'm just going to get it closer. I'm not super confident with her bag. She's just recently changed sponsorships as well.
Oh, what a putt.
About time one fell for her. She's deserved it.
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely. Here's me from overcooking the Rhino.
Yeah, a little headwind. You could see her shirt kind of flapping in the wind there. It's picking up.
Yeah.
Lisa's doing the same thing because it looked like a left or right for you, and all of a sudden it looks like a headwind for Lisa, so she's just taking a double checking that.
Definitely started. It was definitely swirly on the screen. Like I remember the last day, especially, I was getting frustrated because I felt like I'd have an idea of a wind read, and then 2 seconds later I'll putt it, and it like had a different wind.
Got that lift or bounce or shift in the flight that you weren't expecting. The hole played a little easier today than it did in day one as a 6.14 average, so a little over one stroke of par, but we had 5 ladies able to walk away with par today, which were strokes on folks as we head into hole 5. What do we got going on here?
This is a 667 foot par 4. It is downhill off the tee pad. You want to go a backhand first with the a left finish, and you kind of have a low ceiling to work with, and you have to just get up to the basket. And it's a very fast green with a lot of roots that can make you roll away. I think the best landing zone off the tee pad is trying to get to the short tee as best as possible.
Yeah. The short tee is very attackable, and Lisa is getting caught up in some trees early and kicking short of that, but she should be able to save a par from that position. There's no OB this year, I think, on the right side, which has in past events has not been the case. Usually there is OB, and Courtney finding exactly where you want to land.
That is such a good spot.
So a little less danger this year on the right side, so players can kind of really go for big distance here without really having a ton of consequences outside of a tree kick. So this has got to miss. That's the second tree she's hit that she's looking to kind of avoid so she can kind of put some pressure back on Lisa. Unlucky there, not able to quite get what she was looking for. Big boomer from you. Little plinko with those last deep trees, but you gotta pump out there, so you're pretty far up the fairway from that spot.
I've got to look. Just have to get through the low ceiling.
This is not an easy spot from Cynthia there.
She's giving herself an open spot there, though. I mean, she'll have an open shot at the basket.
Made some progress up the fairway as well.
Yeah. Oh, Lisa is in the rough.
Yes.
Watch for ticks.
Yeah, thankfully, this season, at least for me personally, I didn't really have a big issue with ticks, so I was pretty happy with Michigan in that regard.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't find one.
Other states, not so much.
Yeah.
Great forehand from you. Old basket location used to be right next to where you landed, but you are in a prime spot to get up and down for that 4 from there.
Yeah, playing for par for sure. Just trying to salvage what I can out of this round so far.
Yeah, Courtney really being in the best
Ooh.
spot to attack this for a birdie, and she is doing just that.
Oh, wow.
And the roll.
Wow.
What a shot.
So impressive. Gosh, I love watching her forehand.
And she just has such good control on that flex line. She puts it on any, trusts the stability of the disc, and she often gets it to go where she wants it to go.
And with so much power.
Mm-hmm.
Great bit on Cynthia's part, too. Got way up there.
Yeah. She finally missed the tree she was trying to avoid that time. Oh, Lisa going really wide here.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's out.
I'm just wrong. Yeah, it's by the basket. I'm kidding.
It's just a fast green up there.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't expect it to be, but it is.
That's not a rhino, is it?
Yeah, I have that pink one that was a little bit more beat in, and then this one, new one. These were still very new to me, as I've just been sponsored by Innova. So my bag is still very, very new.
Let's go.
Oh, great putt.
Catches that am side. Kind of puts a little pressure on Lisa here. Oh.
No.
Just off. She's going to finish off real quick while I think you guys were setting cards on the other side or something.
Maybe.
Getting ready for the next hole, but you got to tap in right there. And we have Courtney's birdie, the only birdie on the field for the day for the FPO division here on hole 5.
Very nice. We got to watch it.
And and it wasn't even like I threw it in from 80 feet. It was like, I had a whole 2 feet.
A total tap in.
Easy
Beautiful.
peasy. Hole 6 now.
Hole 6 is a 580-foot par 4. This is a very, very tough center gap. You have to throw a straight backhand and land very in the center. From there, you can probably get a forehand to go around these trees here and get you up for a shot for the green. There's a lot of low ceiling options for upshots, but you just have to stay in the middle of the fairway. I think that's just the hardest part for sure.
Yeah, this initial gap is a little trickier than people kind of understand. The old tee-pad used to be farther up and left, and it was almost too easy of a hyzer. So when they changed this, it really narrowed that gap, and now you have to kind of have that 330 backhand power to land maybe a little farther than where Courtney just landed there, but she still put herself in an amazing spot from there because she'll have a forehand or backhand look, right?
Absolutely. I'll tell you, I practiced this shot for backhand so many times, and I think I only hit the gap like twice.
Yeah,
the initial trees that you have to miss are, the video doesn't do it justice. That gap is so much smaller than you think it is.
It's super skinny.
So I opt for the forehand to go around it.
Oh, and that last tree you needed to miss, nicked it. That was rude.
It's not my round.
That's it. We're cutting it down.
That's it. It's done.
Interesting hold there from Lisa, but she gets this rip out there. I imagine it's some form of a shrike, maybe a mamba, but it looked like a shrike flight to me, and she's going to be in a great spot as well.
She still got that open look on the left side there.
Get out of those. No, don't do it. It did it.
Oh, I'm going to do it.
Oh, dang it. You honestly had a look at it from that spot. It was a little tight.
I did. I just decided that this round, I was just going to make everything as difficult for myself as possible. I am holding true to that. So,
okay, hey, you're sticking to a game plan.
For sure. I just wanted to work on, being in the woods and scrambling. So,
yeah, working on her scramble stats.
Yeah.
Courtney in a great spot after her second. Lisa throwing a really low screamer.
Very aggressive. Well done.
She wants that birdie. She's going to be a little short, but she'll have a look. Oh, Cynthia taking the wide right gap.
I was not expecting that.
I wasn't either, but she's going to find herself in the woods there. Not where she wants to be. Oh, this is not. No bueno.
Not where you want to be.
No bueno. Little
Yeah.
pitch out. Yeah, best she can do from that spot. But you C2 look for par.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Most people who land over there do not get that opportunity. Oh, and
She's got a putt though.
yeah,
She got
Cynthia had the power to get there, but got knocked down early. Oh, look at there's
Oh.
Kyle Klein in the background.
Hey, Kyle. Oh my goodness.
It was the Sky God too. No,
I thought she had it.
it looks so good the whole way. Get in there.
Oh, another great bid.
Courtney is just a big tease with disc golf. She
Really, for sure.
oh, you what?
Oh.
You all are teasing us. Come on, put one in.
I wanted that one really bad.
Come on, Cynthia. Give us one C2.
Well,
Oh, just a touch
Aw.
short. You guys got me all geeked out, and we're watching some great bids here. It's only a matter
Alright.
of time.
we'll have to get the next one then.
Yes, next one. 4 throw-ins from 250 feet. We got it.
Yeah,
No pressure.
it could happen for sure.
You see Lisa with the umbrella. The forecast did talk about rain potentially coming down. Not a lot of it, but enough to affect these players. And so, y'all had to come a little prepared for that. I don't think it really rained any. I think we had like 30 seconds of sprinkles, but nothing really came down.
Yeah, I don't remember. Too long ago.
That's it. I'm pulling it up. Somebody find the West Michigan forecast for that day. Got all tap-ins done and out of the way, and we are off to hole 7. This is from the original layout of Brewer, or its most recent layout at least. Hasn't changed at all. Break it down for us.
This hole is 613 feet. We're at a par 4. It's a downhill. I would call it a smash.
Mhm.
You do not want to be on the right-hand side on your initial drive. It is very thick in there. Once you get past this, you just have those 2 trees to contend with, and then you can get up to this green where you have some more trees to fight, but it's mostly open.
Yeah, this is even Courtney, who is goes to forehand when she can, especially because she has power there. Likes to go backhand here so that she can finish left away from that right side, and unfortunately she's going to land in that thick brush early.
It's still pretty open in there, though. You still have looks out for
Mhm.
sure once you're in there. The stuff on, if you turn it over and you're right, I'd say almost impossible to find your disc.
Yeah, they did have spotters, but even then sometimes they can lose sight of things pretty quickly. And Lisa going with the high play again.
On the edge.
Yeah, not quite able to push through like she did in round 1, but she is on the edge, like you said. Maybe she'll have a look from there. Cynthia looking to take advantage. This looks piped.
That looks so good. Get through.
Yeah.
Get through. Oh, beautiful. That's the spot you want to be. That's how you do it right there.
Yeah, she'll have options from there on how to attack the basket as well, either righty or left. And this looks great as well.
Yeah. Hey, we finally have a good shot.
Let's
good job, Stacey.
go. Right in the dead grass. That's
It'll be
like
easy to...
the landing spot, right? They marked it out for you. Oh, this looks
Yeah.
terrible for Courtney.
Gotta get high over those trees, but not too nose up. Okay, we're going like a little roller just to get out.
Yeah, she's going to have to just kind of attack with a forehand from there probably.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Even Lisa going with a forehand here. This is looking at the bush. Yeah, right in the center of them.
Ah, you hate to see it.
Yeah, you do. Cynthia
Do it.
wasn't able to attack it the way she wanted, but she is past those 2 bushes and in the open. That'll give her a look. Big forehand from you here. Oh, going over the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to push a little bit. Just outside circle. That's a great bid. You'll have a look from there for sure. Courtney's looking, hey, that looked like a good gap. I'm going to try it too.
Follow.
Oh, she's going a little lower here. There are some long branches deep if you're trying to stay under it, and she has put herself just inside circle.
I mean, what do you expect? Courtney's going to throw a forehand. It's going to be good.
Yeah, and she likes stable forehand, so it's extra broken in that scenario.
I
Yeah.
wonder what Lisa threw there.
for our friends in the audience, I'll give you 3 guesses. It was either a Sky God 2. Oh, no, that's it. Those are all the options you get.
Yeah, that's the extent of it.
Couple layups here.
Yeah.
You know, hard to run from here because we do have some lower hanging branches. So if you're far out 80 feet or so, it's hard to make that run. And you can see the wind affecting you. Tailwind there, right? Look like?
Yeah, it was.
Makes your disc plummet pretty fast.
Oh, great putt.
Courtney makes the correction. You got a wind read off you.
She's kicking my booty.
Got a couple tap-ins now before we get over to hole 8. That's the pink rhino, right?
Yeah.
Do you even have another pink disc before? Like, I'm going to keep asking because it looks like it is, and then there probably isn't even another pink disc.
Just my putter. So that was actually my putter, but I have the pink rhino, and then, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I throw pigs now, so I don't have more.
Smart. I'm a pig fan between the two of them for sure. Hole 8, 424 feet. No OB to speak of here. You just kind of rip it, get as far as you can. I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, Stacy, I'm pretty sure the hole plays a little above the pad here, so you have to throw it slightly uphill, not a ton. It's more of a valley than anything, so you should be able to push a little extra distance before it comes into play on the ground, but
For sure.
Can't take a 4 here. This has to be a 3 or better no matter what.
For sure. And I don't think any of us really have the distance to reach this. So we're all just probably just going to play this for par.
That one's out in the fairway in the long grass there.
Yeah, the long grass is very grabby. There's no ground play when you get it in the long grass.
Lisa also screaming this really low, getting some wind bounce action though.
Yeah.
She'll be short, but 150 feet should be a pretty typical up and down from there. I say typical. There's wind. That's never typical, but
yeah,
we have high expectations of Lisa.
A little turned over. It looks. No, I'm wrong. It's coming out.
Yeah, it came out of it at the very end there. That's a great drive.
Don't listen to me. That was beautiful.
The wind was playing tricks on you again. Okay, this is green now. I don't know what this is.
I think that's that Roadrunner. It's actually
Okay.
a very stable run of a Roadrunner. I'd say it usually flies pretty straight, but again, I had just received this disc, so I'm still just learning the bag.
Right. And that's always tough to do, too, trying to be competitive and throw a bag that you're not super familiar with.
For sure. Well, it's interesting because, I was on the tour, and so I'm learning all these courses for the first time, plus I'm learning a brand new bag, trying to meet all these new people, and just like literally every single aspect of my life was new, and it was a lot.
Yeah, and there's a lot more pressure on the tour before anyone goes in the comment section and like, well, I've done that before. Well, hold on. You haven't had to do it on tour. You did it at your local course. So.
And you like learning a new course every week while learning your bag.
Yeah, there it is.
While trying to master your form, it's
Right.
it makes you feel like you're a few steps behind.
Yeah, like you're trying to figure it out. You got a couple more things in your mind. Cynthia with a great par there. Little tester from her. This is you from... Oh, no. What happened?
I don't remember. I'm probably just frustrated. This round is just not going well at all. And I think I'm getting in my head a little bit at this point.
Don't you hate it when you're your own mental buddy and your mental buddy, which is you, isn't helping?
Yes.
It's like, stop it. You want to be friendly to me.
For sure.
All we got is Lisa left. Yep, there she is. No time wasted getting herself that par as we head over to hole 9. Blind hole. What do we got going on here?
287 feet. It's a pretty open hyzer shot. You have to go uphill off the tee pad, and then the rest of the hole is going a little bit downhill. There is a tree to the left of the basket that cuts off the forehand line, and it can make putting difficult if you get caught in those lower branches. And you absolutely have to have a spotter on this hole because it is completely blind. Shout out to all of the spotters this weekend. You guys were incredibly helpful. Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah.
And the director and everything.
For all the volunteers, for absolutely.
Yeah. Everybody involved.
Especially the cameraman. Who said that? No, I'm just kidding. That landed in one of the skinniest places you could possibly land in danger, but
And she has an open look.
she does. It's like that's a hard place to land and get yourself a look, but she's over there.
Yeah, it is. That was impressive. See, I wouldn't try the backhand or the forehand because that tree that she got around. It's very impressive. All right, skip up, Lisa. What we got? A little short?
Yeah, it is a little short. I mean, this is probably the most dangerous green on the course.
Yeah, it's very touchy.
Being a little short is okay as long as you're willing to kind of accept that 3. And probably at this point, Lisa's thinking that this is a tough hole to get a 2 on, as it played pretty difficult overall.
Is she over there by Courtney?
She is. She's right over it. She hit that tree that you're talking about, and she's going to be underneath that.
Nice.
Oh, no, I like this play. Really high and wide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, stop it. Don't you. Man, I shouldn't have jinxed you. I'm sorry.
It is okay.
Yeah. And
It's that bush that I was talking about. Those branches that are very difficult to put.
I don't know. Is a birch tree or whatever it is, it's got a branch that hangs like almost right to the hill.
Mm-hmm. It's like touching it.
Cynthia having to go to a straddle.
Oh, I thought she had that.
Great line. She's watching it, telling it to don't you dare go down that hill.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at the trouble you are in.
Yeah, I had no, I remember this specifically. I was very frustrated. Couldn't move. Like I was up against these branches and just literally had no way to move my legs or anything. Oh no! I thought she had that putt. Great bid.
No, she just wanted to tease me some more. Dang it. All right.
Par, good par.
Yeah, par's okay here. The hole averaged at 3.05, so almost exactly par. We only had 2 birdies between Lauren Butler and Amanda Milwicki on the day. So definitely, not losing too many strokes if you take a par here, but definitely one that's gettable, so it feels like you want it.
Definitely.
And that's going to be all 9 holes for the front there. Taking a look at the scores, Lisa kind of putting that lead back together. Got a few strokes to cushion with. Everyone else just trying to keep it together. Actually, Courtney keeping it together really well here and now tied with Cynthia. Kind of pushing for that second place. We're going to have to see how things kind of play out there on the back 9.
At this point, I'm pretty much dropped off. But there's always the back 9.
Yes, we'll get ourselves back on track in the back 9. Thank you, Patreon family. And we will see you guys on the back 9 for the conclusion of this event.